God, I want one of those. The new bug vans. Bug vans. Let's see, who are we going to... Let's see, don't know any better. Nobody's looking at me. We're talking, and oh crap, she's here. Just when you thought I was gone. Trying to button a button, sorry. Let's see if I can get a lower one. I just want one button. So I was asking for everything. I've seen a rabbit here already. Hello. Oh, Saturday, right. I don't know. Let's see how I do today. And just in case anybody's wondering, yes, I have not been out and about. Yes, I have not. And that is because this week has been hard. Mentally. But look, isn't that cool? I got it off of eBay years ago, believe it or not. So, I am here watching planes go overhead with, have a nice day. Close the doors now. Run, run. Isn't it nice to know that I'm back? Close the doors. You know, got to keep people from seeing me. Because, you know, I'm an SP. SPs go to hell. Do you guys have hell? Does Xenu bring hell? Xenu bless. Got any cooties? I'd like some cooties. Are they cheap? Are they free? Oh. Hello, Antics. Hello, Fez. Hello, Cricket. I'm on clunky tablet. I promise mistakes. Okay. So let's see. Come on. I'm not going to put up the curtains. Ooh, that's interesting. I'll just stand out here then the whole time. Nope, we're going to put them up. And then they put them, well, no, they're not backwards on the inside, but eventually they need to take that tag off. It's not aesthetically pleasing. So I made definite plans to go to LA at the end of the month. I was talking to my sister. I got here so ferociously fast, it was pitiful. Today's the day that all these Super Bowl freaks come here. So, come on, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to put the other curtain up. But it's not that hard, you just put it up. I'm too short. Okay, fine, I can do it. Xenu Blast, Xenu Blast. Ask about Xenu. Always ask about Xenu. He has a volcano 2 or 3. It's pretty cool. Have a nice day. He's trying to close the doors. Historically, they don't close completely. Sorry. You can't hold them. It's illegal. Sorry, they've warped over time. They're over 100 years old. Curtain shaming time, yes. I'm naturally clumsy, never had to work on it. Me too. So, who was that? Oh, hello. Hold on. So, yes, I am very excited. I got this on Etsy, eBay or something. You know, it's pink. It's got the LV thing on it. It's got that bunny on it. Can you see? There you go. See? I just thought it was cute back then because, you know, my nickname is Bunny. So I just thought it was neat. So let's see. What did we find out today? Oh, Scientology isn't relevant to me right now. I'm just here to have them close all the curtains. Paralyzed to paralyze. Who do I know? Who is that? I know that person. Hello, AK. When the Scientology files are finally released, no one will be able to accuse us of complicity. So, no, it's nice to know that all of those freaks we made fun of that had all these conspiracy theories about the D's, it was all about the R's the whole time. The person who opened the prayer breakfast this morning was Jonathan Cain's wife. Now, those of us who are from here, the Bay Area, who are about my age, or knows anything about any kind of sports, knows that Jonathan Cain's part of Journey. Can you freaking believe that? He is a full-blown MAGA sympathizer. Luckily enough, he didn't write the important songs. He was a keyboard player, and he came in the 80s. So I had to research that because I had to make sure that I didn't have to pass on Journey, because that's like the patron band of the Bay Area. So okay, let's see. Crypto market crashing by trillions. Ooh, yes, because the Trumps don't know how to buy low and sell high. They sell low or buy low and sell even lower. Trump is mentioned more in the Epstein's files than Jesus is in the Bible. How do you like that one? That was creepy. That's just creepy. Creepy. If you heard him talk this morning at the National Prayer Breakfast, which was a joke in itself, he sounded like he had a mush mouth. It was really weird. And I mean, straight up, it sounded like it was... These might be people that I don't want to film. He sounded like he was sort of going for real. Honest to God, it was really weird. Journey's going to be the band that brings us all back together. I hope so. Those files are disturbing. Yes! If anybody wants to know why I haven't been here for 4 days now, it's because of that. Because I had to finally go. I will talk about it because Sunday, as we were driving here, they released some videos that were, of course, scrubbed, but and it disturbed me like you wouldn't freaking believe. And so I went to go look and see if they were AI, because they had to be, and they weren't. So I proceeded to cry for a couple of days and realized, hello, that I have to talk about this if I like it or not. So I won't be avoiding it from now on, but I sure as hell won't be getting past PG, and not PG-13, but PG. So it took me a while to climb out of that hole, and I seem to be doing okay. Got here early, called the sister. Oh yeah, that, and I'm one of those people that's like, well, if this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens. Well, I got completely dressed after I completely cleaned the bedroom and dried my hair, which is a pain in the butt, before it was time to leave. And went, oh, okay, well, I have to come here then, don't I? So I'm here. May not be talking about Scientology because it's really not in the forefront of my brain at the moment, but I'll be here, so they have to close all the curtains and drive them crazy. So Power, would you be interested in an interview? Power, I don't know, look what they did to the Sopranos community. Thank you, Endix, but I politely decline. Okay, thanks anyways. Howdy, CBF. Hi, Bill. Noam Chomsky and Creepak Chomper are giving a lot of people. Thank you, Adam. That is so funny. I'm sorry, but the head of the FBI should not look like he's been smacked in the back of the head. I usually thought it was like an expression he did. I didn't know that was his natural countenance. It just looks really bizarre. Got to stand here for a couple of minutes. And yes, my leg hurts like a mofo, but I'm getting used to it because I'm getting used to having I can deal with it brain. So if I've got to hear about CSA all the time, my leg hurting is like, oh well. Oh, and they finally bought a huge warehouse, and they're building another camp. You know what kind of camp? About 2 hours away from where the Declaration of Independence was written. Isn't that nice? Doesn't that make you happy? Oh, and I've started carrying, like I used to carry around, and I don't have it with me, of course, because it's in the car across the street. I've started carrying around something that, weirdly enough, in some strange world, I guess it would be some kind of, snark, that I got on Amazon. because I could get it overnighted. Well, actually, I could get it 3-houred. I bought copies of the Declaration and the Constitution, so I could be like a Mr. Khan and, you know, hand it out to people like I used to hand out pepper spray. So that's a good thing. Who, what, where, Declaration of Independence? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which should have been the capital of the country. Yeah, it's where they all signed it. Bunch of white guys. I'm so tired of the bunch of white guys thing. No offense, white guys. My dad's a white guy. Cash does look like that. He does. I'm sorry, but he does. I seriously, the first time I ever saw him, I thought it was, you know, a response to something, because, you know, he was sitting at a meeting, and it was like, no, he really looks like that. How did you get that far in the world having that expression? You figure he'd have been teased like crazy, that he'd be in hiding. Nim Chimpsky would be OTA by now. Our SCBF has a way of describing things, yes. Sort of like how Cricket says that I have a way of texting. I texted something the other day and Cricket said, even in her way of texting, I don't understand. So look what they've done since we're, you know, doing the local. Whoever had half a brain obviously is in business, because they closed down Postscript. And this is what you're going to see everywhere for a while, or suburbans just sitting around on corners, because, you know, the Super Bowl is going to be here on Sunday. It's not going to be here. It's going to be an hour away down south. So they closed Postscript. Isn't this bizarre? Just one day, it's gone. It's so strange. And you figure the one weekend they should be open is Super Bowl Sunday. So let's see. Opening dates and details coming soon. Chef Christopher Costow, Marina Costow are opening their third Love Ski location, Jackson Square neighborhood in San Francisco. I don't even know who these people are. I'm reading, sorry. Bagels? Not bagels. The last place I had a decent bagel in San Francisco was down Gary in the Russian section. So I guess this place is supposed to be something. It's just so strange how they just like closed Postscript. Just ciao, bye. So it's so weird. I don't think I can do the live KA. I've gotten this far here. I have a feeling that at any second I could just burst into tears again. I don't know. I'm out in the real world. I've been out in the real world every day. It's really bizarre. But I think if I have to talk about anything, it's like, I'm fucking fragile and it sucks. I will be for a couple more days. I figure by Sunday I'll be like, screw them all, get a life. But right now I'm still, because I can sort of feel it in the back of my head. So yeah, I don't think I can do tonight. Let's try for next week. There's the CBF to English dictionary. The only chef I know is Uncle Roger. Uncle Roger? I don't get it. Or maybe not. Understand totally. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, I'm wandering back to the car. I've got a breast in the car. And a brioche. Because Nico's is open. My other, you know, I was getting to like frickin' Postscript. It's a bummer. So yeah, and Postscript was expensive. So what is this new place going to be? Twice as expensive? I mean, hell, they were selling chef salad or Caesar salads in there for $19. So it sounded like a hostile takeover, if you ask me. Hold on a second. So, other one, come on. Now, where are they? That's the thing. I didn't see them. I brought them. I brought them with me. They must be in my purse. Because I want to be... There they are. Nope, that's my passport. Yeah, I'm carrying my fucking passport now. Isn't that nice? My sister said her friends are carrying their passports. My sister's excited because because of cancer, she's been in the house for 6 months. And she actually had a tan, or she is dark naturally, like I used to be. See? Like, hee. I might start reading an old Tifa, just for the hell of it. So it's a pocket size. I got 10 of them. So, and they came in 4 hours. So that's why I said the irony of getting them on Amazon. So, let's see. Who's Uncle Roger Chef? Who is that? Come on. Someone has to like give me the Cliff Notes on that. I went to Erewhon and took out a mortgage on a smoothie. Well, you know, we are the originators of avocado toast. Then that's the problem, because I know where it originated. It was one of my favorite cafes. And it wasn't the reason you guys think it was. Avocados were plenty here in California. So it wasn't necessarily supposed to be a frou-frou thing. It was just that it was cool. Avocado toast was neat. It's what you ate for breakfast. So, but for some reason they blame it. It's a cafe on, in the Western Addition. On, the hell's the name of the, because everybody used to live in the Western Addition. Yeah, it totally gentrified, but everybody and their uncle used to live in the Western Addition because it was easy. You could get like 4 people as roommates and get a whole flat. So, and then the techies realized, oh crap, I'd like to live here. So they turned all those Victorians that were flats into one house again. So, but yeah, during the transition. Avocado toast sounds good. I don't care if boomers want to scoff at me for saying that. No, avocado toast is good because back in the day, you used to get an avocado for 10 cents, 5 cents. Your next door neighbor. That was the bummer. So it was like, we were where avocado toast started, sure. But you know what? It was because they were normal here. Not because they were frou-frou. It's like all the things they blame on the techies for being frou-frou. No, the techies had no clue. It's just that they made them popular. So, because it was easy to get. The first time I ever had to pay for a lemon was hilarious. I'm like, you want me to do what? And it was on the peninsula because, and it can still do it nowadays. If it hangs over the fence, it's, legal. That's the joke. Hangs over the fence, you can pick it. If it doesn't hang over the fence, you can always ask. Because lemon trees are nuts. Avocado trees were nuts, It's like you can't find an avocado tree to save your life nowadays because, everybody's picking them. It's an apartment, not a flat. No, Mr. Big Giant Head. If it's in a Victorian, it's a flat. So this is San Francisco. Do you know how many Victorians? My bio dad used to do that in the 80s. He specialized in Victorian renovations, and they turned those beautiful houses into flats. One floor as an apartment. And in the 2010s, you had all the tech heads who had too much money turning those Victorian flats back into houses, single family dwellings. So that's what they did to the Western Addition, is that when the families were dying out, basically, because it was a black-owned neighborhood too, the children who didn't want to live in the city, because they already moved somewhere else, sold their parents' houses for millions of dollars to techies who bought the houses and then turned them into houses again. So a couple of friends of mine got bought out of their flats because California has very, very renter positive laws. One of my friends got bought out for $80,000 to give up her apartment because, it just don't work that way in California. So 80, 60 grand, you know, can you move? And now those places are now single family dwellings that resell for $9 million, $5 million. Nowadays, they'll probably $1 million. Didn't the dead live in an old Victorian? Probably. They're all over the place here in San Francisco. So there were movies and hell, the Manson family probably lived in a Victorian here. So they had the Victorians in the 60s and they took them apart in the 80s and then they put them back in the 2010s. And they'll probably soon turn them back all into flats again. So the one friend who got bought out for 80 grand, that house didn't have a garage. So they actually bought the people out. Well, the top floor was the parents. So it's like sold the house, the people bought them out, the bottom 2 floors, bought them out, and then they put a garage underneath. It was the weirdest thing driving by her house and seeing a garage. Like, what? So yeah, it's very strange to see, because I lived in the Western Addition at one time, but actually a legitimate apartment buildings. They were duplexes. It was bizarre, but still, it was like for better off people. So it was basically a 1-bedroom that turned into a 2-bedroom turned into a 4-bedroom. The makeup was weird, but my bedroom was huge. And we had an opera singer. It was really cool in the neighborhood because, you know, backyards. The bottom floor always got the backyard. So yeah, there was an opera singer. So everybody opened their windows for a while and listened to the opera singer. It was totally a rear window, totally. That's why when we got a sax player in the commune, I was just like, yay! That didn't last very long, I guess, because some of the people rent in the commune and they stay about a year, and then when their rent gets hiked, they move. Which is, if you ask me, the Bay Area has always been sort of a nomadic lifestyle anyway. It's what was surprising when the techies would buy these houses and like gut them and make them into single family dwellings and realize that, you know, you don't really want to have kids in San Francisco. It's expensive. From New York to San Francisco, bring back petty crime and lower the rent. Pooping on the sidewalk is a revolutionary act. It all started with Luther's 99 BC. Have you seen the Carson Mansion in Eureka? Basically a Victorian house on steroids. I'm not surprised. No, I haven't. I don't go up north. I go like central, you know, coast. Think coast. Think 101. So he knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't really go up north unless it's to Oregon, and then it's like, what's it, 99.5? I don't know. I don't pay attention. I lived in Victorian Ithaca that had been converted to SRO housing, but they kept the facade. I know that one. So yeah, I've lived in Victorian, I've lived in Edwardian, I've lived in I'm trying to think. Mid-century is the only one I haven't lived in. I've pretty much lived in every style since Victorian. And now I live in 2000s, 2010s technically. So the stuff that they build now is crap. Oh my God, it's amazing. And charge $1 million for it. So at least I can't hear the people next door. Yeah, welcome to the Bay Area. And like I always say, we cheated. We cashed in 2 for 1. So, but one of the people I was vague streaming about last when I was protesting, saw her and she was like, the next time you go protesting, let me know. And I'm like, I just sort of raised my eyebrow. She's like, no, really, let me know. And I'm like, okay. She had company, so she actually was excused. And I said, you do realize that we're the bourgeoisie, so when the revolution comes, our asses are against the wall, right? And she said, well, yeah, but at least I know I've done something. So the weekend must have actually triggered something in her head. So I'm very much well aware that the 4-bedroom townhouse that I have may be holding people in it eventually, who are hiding. One of the few times I'm glad that I live in a place that you can't find. It's like, so I don't have a good son. Who cares now? We have to make sure that we have a country. The Level Club in Manhattan is a Masonic high-rise that was an SRO in the 70s. Yes, I'm not surprised. Gothic? Yes. That's pretty much Victorian. And that's pretty much everybody I know. You froze them for a second, but otherwise the stream is fine. Ooh, where did I freeze? Speaking of architecture, Miscavige's preferred architects, Genster, also did extensive work on Epstein Island. I'm not surprised. Oh, let's not. I wonder if he'll be in the files. That'll be interesting, even though for some reason, he's always come off of me as asexual. So I don't really think of him as sexual, so I doubt if he'll be in it. In my opinion. I just got an ad for fiber supplement. He's scheduled the colonoscopy yet. That's all I have to say to you, Fuzz. My own sister was just like, And I'm like, that's what you tell your friends, because her friends are seeing her going, oh my God, you know, all the stuff you've gone through. I said, you should just tell them you were too stubborn to die because you wanted me to have a colonoscopy. Made her laugh, of course. But it's a good reason. And no, I haven't. That does not surprise me. Yeah, I'm with you, Buzz. 2 minutes ago, but it was only for a few seconds. I know, but you know, on streaming, a few seconds can be eternity. He's not in the files in any way that is significant or incriminating. Like I said, I didn't expect him to be, because I really don't expect him to exist with humanity. Allegedly, in my own head, my opinion. That's how he can be best friends allegedly with Tom Cruise, is that, you know, he doesn't really exist in this world. Uh-oh, we've got a violation. Building inspection. Let's see. See, I told you. Failure to register a vacant storefront. Because this was once what was this? I think it was an art store or something. Not art store, but gallery type thing. So now they put the for lease sign up, and the Department of Building Inspection is not amused. So, yeah, hey, Scientology. They don't mess around here. I told you they don't. So somebody probably did, report your asses, and it wasn't me. So, what else? Secure the storefront. Ooh, what haven't they done? Oh. Something was ripped out. Failure to post required signage, and they're a public nuisance because they're ugly. Welcome to San Francisco. You can't be ugly in San Francisco. Not especially when they're trying to rebuild a neighborhood. So. What? Had to get the puppy in. I was looking. I want one of those domes. I wonder if they leak. What dome? Which dome? Where? I agree that COB seems asexual. I could maybe see him curl things in PC folders. Yeah, I just don't even see him no. He's just there. I mean, I don't know what he does on his off time, but I don't even see it being criminal. That's the thing. So, in my opinion, besides, Scientology stuff. I almost sent your birthday present a color card for us. That's funny. Could you picture I just hand it to Papa Cat and go, I'm not falling for that. What did the building do wrong this time? It wasn't pretty, and it was one of the new stores. They're trying to revamp this neighborhood, so I wouldn't be surprised if enough people complain that there's a Scientology, store here. That they get paid attention to a lot more right now because of Pyramid being revamped and released, and right now because of Super Bowl. And like I said, I saw my first rabbit because he had shorts on and he was wearing pastels. He tried to he was gonna cross the street against the light, and it was like, dude, and he just started to, and then the light changed and he stopped and sort of laughed and backed up, and it was like, I'm glad you're laughing about it because no, have a good one. Where are you taking those to?
Like Ireland.
Where?
Not in particular, just like different places.
The things you do for them, it's not right. Oh wow, you have a bunch of them. Wow, he's going to go deliver them probably and, tell people that they have to post them. I knew they were doing it with people in Chinatown. They told him that if they, allegedly, that if they didn't put those flyers in their stores, they were going to report them. That's all I heard was report. Didn't say report to who, what, or where, but that they were going to report them. It was like, these guys have no scruples whatsoever. Nowadays, that's normal, isn't it? One of the coded messages from a 16-year-old girl mentioned being introduced to a woman from Clearwater who wanted to teach her things that perked my ears up. Ah, interesting. So, semicolon card. Oh my God. The only reason I didn't is because I thought it might get lost. No, I wouldn't touch it. I'd be handing it to Papa Cat. Geodesic Dome, Buckminster Fuller. Nope, I haven't lived in a geodesic dome. But we do have a couple of those houses around here. CB might be doing a bottle of whiskey a night like Gore Vidal did in his later years. I wouldn't put it past him. In my opinion, some good old alcoholism might do him well because he, doesn't have any kind of moral compass, in my opinion, whatsoever. Ooh, I wonder who's doing what to that. So yeah, that guy was delivering drug pamphlets, probably to Moscone Center. He said, but I didn't catch it. So you guys probably didn't catch it either. So, because I said, where are you taking those? And then he realized who I was, and then he was like, nowhere. It was like, okay, every time you guys think I'm gone, I keep showing back up like cooties. I am cootie. I'm not their cootie, but I am a cootie. If Gore Vidal was alive, he'd be in the files. No shit, Dick Tracy. Actually, I don't know though, because it seems to be a straight sort of cabal and not a all kinds of sex cabal. So, which I'm sort of like digging on is the fact that, it's a bunch of straight people being, freaks with young girls. You freaks. Actually, that makes me happy in a weird way. That you can't blame it on, the queer community for once. Am I late enough? I have a title to hold up to. Hi, Bridge. Nope, you're only 34 minutes in, but actually the leg is starting to hurt. So it may be a short one today. Dymaxion car? I don't know the Dymaxion car. So you being Toni Morris in the same cult leader AA chapter. Oh God, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Cootie and the blown fish. Oh my God. We might have to go sit in the car again, but Peter Mandelson is gay and he's all over the files. And pictures. Ew. You know, it works both ways though. Some people who are gay are straight. It isn't always in the same direction. Sorry, I'm part of the queer community, so I can actually say this shit. Ha ha. Because I'm bisexual. Ooh, oh my God, lose your mind. Woo. But he can be faking it. You never know. Teal could be faking that he's gay. You never know. You know, he may turn straight, or he may be able to prove that he's straight if the oligarchs were going to be able to take over, which they're not. But, you know, it happens. So, Mandelson is definitely... What? Is definitely not straight, just corrupt. Bummer. Bummed me out. So, you know, I was thinking about that today. What the weird thing is that straight men are always worried about gay men hitting on them. You know, straight women never really talk about gay women hitting on them. They just talk about them driving motorcycles. That's a really interesting thing. I think I might be heading home. Look at this. Just because of the traffic I'm going to have to hit on the way home. Because if the traffic is weird on this street, that means traffic sucks everywhere else. So, Peter Thiel definitely wants us to live in tubes and eat bug paste. Gay is not the problem, depravity is the problem. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It's like, it's not the problem being gay. It's the problem of underage people. So, it's like, and you know, the straight people beat the depravity big time now. You know, because all the little girls, you little sick fucks. Did I say that out loud? Was I thinking it? Yes, and I said it. Oops. Somebody dropped their puppy. I'm gonna go take this into, or actually, I will call the number and tell them I have their... No, I'll take it into Nico. Hold on, guys. This fell off of somebody's puppy. Okay. There's a phone number on the back. I see Harvey. Yeah, it was right out front. So I figured I'd bring it to you guys. So they'll call and give Harvey's owner his thing back. So I think there's a COS person that's watching me with a glass of wine outside of Nico. I would love to show him off, but I don't want to mess with Nico. So Gore didn't travel in his later years. He had an affair with Anais Nin in his youth. Doubt he'd find Epstein interesting. Yeah, he'd probably think it was pretty pedestrian. Yeah. Because it's not what they did on the islands. Boring, get over it. It's what they did it with. So let's get that straight. Peter Thiel definitely wants us to live in tubes and eat bug paste. Okay, gay is not the problem, right? Mandelson got kicked out of the House of Lords. He may end up in jail. Yes, I know. Isn't that cool? I love it. And what's his fuck's name? Microsoft dude. Bill Gates. He's apologized for being in the papers. I don't think apology is good. I think he should just stay in his compound and not leave. Sorry. You fucked up. Remember when Pete Townsend said he was doing research for a book? He was. Hey, Emerson, good to see you. Hello, good vibes. Yes, I know. I finally come out of hiding because of Epstein. Let's blame it on Epstein because it's the truth. I cried for a couple of days, came out, said, you know what? This shit's over. So, Bill Gates is a stud in his head. Yeah, I was going to say, you can show that. He gave his then wife an STD, which explains a lot. Yeah, and it explains why Melinda Gates is now giving to charities, because she probably considers it dirty money, and I don't blame her. So, yeah, let's see. So we should stay away from Apple because the company in Japan, Foxconn, was working their people so much that they were jumping out of windows at Foxconn, and Apple knew it. And they have suicide barriers up. Yeah, I said the word. They have those barriers up now at Foxconn. So now they chuck themselves out of the windows and they'll land on barriers, you know, like the ones they have in Golden Gate. Yeah, Golden Gate finally has barriers up too. So they can't, you know, you can jump from there, but it ain't gonna work. Haha, sorry, get over yourself. So there's a documentary called The Bridge, and the last person that jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge there is a friend of mine. That was nice to know. I didn't know that for the longest time. It was a person from Rocky. So a friend of mine told me who that was, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So, and no, they couldn't help those people. They just filmed them as an art piece. Isn't that lovely? And then made a documentary about it. So when they made the documentary, no, you couldn't have, you couldn't stream. So that's how the documentary is. So now something like that would be illegal. But yeah, they're making money off of it. I don't think they're giving it to Suicide Hotline. So that's sort of gross, isn't it? China, not Japan. They made fun of it in the Simpsons episode. Did I say Japan? I'm sorry, Foxconn was in China. I didn't mean to say Japan. If I said Japan, no, Foxconn's in China. And that was the problem, is that the kids were coming from the fields because they weren't making any money there, and Foxconn was offering money to work in a robotic, you know, to make parts for Apple, for iPhones. And the kids were going there, you know, 18, 19, 20, and then they were realizing they were being worked at Foxconn worse than they were ever being worked in the fields. And so they were checking themselves out of the windows. Isn't that nice? It was in Ceylon in the mid 2010s. It was a story they had, and nobody believed me. I was telling everybody about this because this is the reason I never went to Apple. So nobody believed me, and then, you know, now they're finding out that, you know, this shit was really happening, and Apple is disgusting, that we know now, because he keeps giving, you know, the orange balloon like glass dishes, and he thinks it's the coolest thing on the planet because Mr. Participation Trophy Boy is getting all of these bullshit accolades. And then the chick who got the Peace Prize gave one to the orange balloon. Hopefully it was just, you know, a copy, because the real one is gold. And then Nobel said, that's nice, it's non-transferable, so his doesn't count. Ha ha! So hopefully she kept the real one. Gave him a, you know, gold-leafed plaster one like the rest of the fucking White House. And the Nobel Committee said no. And then idiot thinks that the Nobel Committee is, you know, part of the government. And it's like, no. The Nobel Committee exists because Nobel made dynamite. He discovered dynamite and made it, and realized at the end of his life that that was a big oops. And so he gave his fortune to give out prizes for, it isn't just the Peace Prize. They also do things for different, like science. You know, science. That thing that nobody believes in that's on the other side. Or not even on the other side anymore. There is no Democrat, there is no Republican, there is just right and wrong, let's face it. So, the Hawaii campus is insane. I bet. You can participate for his trophies. I know! I'm giving up the computer and just interacting with the world through shortwave number station code. AK, you know that, let's see, Bearcats. You know, back in the day, There is a scanners. You cannot pick up the 800s in scanners in frequencies because they used to be on phones. Me and my brother used to sit at the airport parking lot and listen to, because I have a Bearcat scanner that does 800s. They didn't know that for a while. Now you can't get a scanner like that. But we used to listen to the scanner, and one day we were listening to the drive-bys, and it was somebody talking about a organ. And we were both looked at each other. I was like 13, 14 at the time. We both looked at each other and went, what? And we didn't know where the hell it came from, but it was somebody talking on their cell phone about an organ. And we put it away for the rest of the day, but we sure as hell never got rid of those scanners. So I have a handheld one that picks up that frequency. It's the creepiest fucking thing on the planet. A tasty morsel. You're doing smoke signals. Now we're going to smoke signals. Hello, Bob. Hello, my hair. I celebrate all forms of covert communication. So if you're going to smoke signals, does that mean you're indigenous like me? We should start a Discordian pirate radio station. If I could figure out how to use Discord, it's the only thing I've never figured out. But you know what? Supposedly, I'm actually going to try to figure out, because your brain can be exercised, and they have figured out that brain cells can grow, not back, but you can grow new ones. So, and that's why the brain plasticizes sometimes, is that nobody's doing things that's new and exciting. So as you get to my age, which on Monday will be 59, I will talk about my 9 for once. I have skipped the number 9 for 50 years and said that I would do it this time because Papa Cat's not amused that I would jump to 60. So I will be 59 on Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. Supposedly, in the latest conspiracy theory, the day that ICE comes here. Because, supposedly, allegedly, Salesforce and all the tech companies bought out the balloon to stay away from us because we have a lot of Indian people who are here on visas. Allegedly, when Elon was forced, he did not buy Twitter. Okay, he was forced to buy Twitter because he actually had made a stupid, oh look, they tried to walk a child out of the front door. It must be Thursday. Sick fucks. Elon made a bid for it. It was stupidly high. And then, of course, he took it back because he didn't have the funding for it. And the FTC said Federal Trade, SEC, thank you. They said, tough shit, Dick Tracy, you have to buy it now because you've taken it out of a rational world for competition. So you have to buy it. So Elon got money, supposedly, allegedly, from the Saudis and bought Twitter. So everybody says he bought Twitter because, no, he bought Twitter because he had to. They put their foot on his neck and said, sorry, dude, you have to buy it. So that's why he bought Twitter. KOTO, the nice surveillance. I have my passport, dear. Don't want nothing to happen to you. My maiden name is Mexican. So I now carry my passport. So, and I'm sure my sister carries her passport because she's got dual citizenship. So, Papa Cat wasn't amused, but he understands. Yeah, apparently Big Tech and Big Standard Tech are both getting a pass. Yeah, but he's got to get pissed off enough at tech here, because that's the only reason I don't live in an ICE zone. Because don't think that he wouldn't pass up the opportunity to go all the way up and down the coast besides LA and just start arresting, all of our field workers. So, Cesar Chavez is just spinning. He's not even rolling. He's spinning at hypersonic speed in his grave going, what the fuck happened? So they're saying ICE is going to Philly next. Ooh, good fucking luck with that. Yeah, and you know who's in Philly? The Panthers. The new Panthers. Yay! I'm so, as everybody says, I would run to a Panther faster than I would run to anybody else right now. So, because the Panthers said, let them come to Philly. We've got our open carry, we've got our guns. Have a nice day. So, and it doesn't matter. People are complaining that they're not the real Panthers. It's like, you know what? You know what happened to the real Panthers after Huey died? They all went into hiding or went into the real world. So shut the fuck up and move on. And I would know about this because the Panthers were here and I got to see Huey unfortunately turn into a drug addict and wind up dying in the street. So because there's a niece or second twice removed someone of Huey's saying, or Bobby Seals that's saying, no, it's not the real Panthers. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. It's the real Panthers to me. I don't care. See, I'm a little cynical right now. I'm going to be that way for a while till I put my bracelet back on. If anybody wants to know, the normal people know that I used to have a Cartier slave cuff, and that's the way they were started because Richard Burton had it made at Cartier for his wife Elizabeth Taylor as a slave cuff. It wasn't supposed to ever come off. I don't know how it became super popular. I don't know how they turned it into a love cuff. And people my age know that's the truth because I showed it to somebody and went, did you know this was a slave cuff? And she's like, oh yeah, I know. So I took it off because it doesn't come off. I had Papa Cat buy me one. So back when we were young and had money. But I took it off because I don't want to cut off. So, the world's gotten better when I put it back on. The world's not doing good right now. I should actually just show pictures of my arm. My cuff is gone. So, oh God, what am I missing? The gang gets detained. I think it was a tweet that got him into that rabbit hole. Linda Dos Equis. What is that going to be my new name? My mother is spinning in her grave. You're not Mexican. Yeah, I am, Mom. Fuck up. I'm not. I'm native, Spanish, Portuguese, and Basque. That's how my sister found me. My mother should have realized that was a stupid idea. My sister would never have found me if I didn't try to prove that I was Mexican. That's why I got a DNA test. I'm going to tell my dad that one tomorrow. It's going to make him laugh. I like that because of the implication. What? They have totally different ideology than the real Black Panther Party. No, actually, yes and no. You can say ideology of the Black Panther Party changed a million different ways. Yeah, when they first came out, they were altruistic because they were a bunch of Ivy League educated black men who thought they could change the world. And I grew up with a Black Panther house up the street for women and children, which were families without fathers that lived in apartment buildings. And so there was one up the street. Even my very government dad smiles when we talk about the Panthers. So I'm with the people who are like, fuck it. You can't have an altruistic ideology anymore. So the new Panthers can be the new Panthers. They're still accepting of everybody. If you look at old pictures of the Panthers, you'll see white people in it. So, and that was just because you had to accept the black ideology. They were separatists too. Yeah, big deal, get over it. But they also cared. And I can say that because I was Oakland. I lived here. So they weren't as fucked up as everybody said they were. They weren't as, eugenic based, because people have tried that shit too. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I've never had a Panther be mean to me my whole life. So blow me. Because I loved the Panthers. They had black outfits. They had black leather. They looked so cool when I was a kid. Eldridge Cleaver became a Mormon. Eldridge Cleaver also sold cod pieces for a while, which is awesome. Yes, it is. I remember when I read about his death in the Chronicle. What's real anymore anyway. That's the truth. Scientology sells cod pieces. Nothing's real, dear. It's all. I always thought that I lived in a movie because of where I grew up. Nope, the whole fucking world's a movie. The Philly Panthers are made with bits of real panthers, so you know they're good. I think they're just missing like the huge afros. So, because I remember when I was a kid, it's like you'd see the ladies with the whole 9 yards and those huge afros, and I'd sit there and look at them and go, I want one. I'm like 6, you know. They were so pretty. 60% of them are. We had neighbors who were first generation American Portuguese. The wife hated being mistaken for Mexican as she was on the brown side. Yeah, my mother was the same way. Because my father was adopted by Mexicans. And that was the thing. And they used to all call each other snobs, right? Oh no, as I grow older, they're bigots. That's all they are bigots. Because my Mexican family loved me. They stuck around after my father and mother got divorced. They loved my stepdad. They loved the little white guy who could make enchiladas. So they were around growing up. And I would just sit there and go, why is it that I can't be Mexican, but you love my family? And she's like, that's different. I'm like, oh, you're snobs. It's all the way, it happens in every race. Spaniards are blonde, blue-eyed, or blonde and green-eyed as opposed to dark ones. Black people are light-skinned as opposed to dark-skinned. Chinese are round face, oval face. It's all the same thing. We're all a bunch of bigots. It's all self-hate. Look at you-know-who in the office, the little rabid chihuahua, not chihuahua, he's not a chihuahua, he's a little rabid dachshund in the White House. Okay, a self-hating Jew. Now that's the worst thing if you ask me. So, I owe you a comma. Their Irish olive smells like pure gasoline. Bob Avacan was a white Panther, sort of. Yeah. My old boyfriend used to get breakfast and history talks from the Panthers. Yay! Oh yeah, going in the houses were so much fun sometimes because there's just like, wow, it was so cool, And it was like, I lived down the street, so I was in the neighborhood. That's the thing. It's like it wasn't racial if you grew up there, sort of thing. What are you going to do? Tell a kid to go away because you're not black? It doesn't work that way. It was like children were there to teach. If you couldn't, in the real world, if you couldn't make a black state, you were going to teach everybody or teach the children that everything was fine. And I'm realizing this as I'm talking about it, actually. It's like, this is the shit I learned as a kid from the Panthers. That's so weird. That's why I don't understand racial bullshit. I was programmed by furry cats who wore great leather and berets. Hey, come on. Man who can wear a beret and carry an automatic weapon at the same time? That's cool. Wow, I gotta go write about this. Commas are just transcriptionist errors. This stream will be re-released to correct all punctuation errors. I still have bullets of quotations of Chairman Bob. The golden age of live chat. City Chinese look down on their country cousins like they're hillbillies or cooties. Yes, yes. I was the same way. It was like my family who moved to like Hayward, which is only like 20 miles away. Oh, they look down at their cousins like you wouldn't believe. We were different, so because we still lived in the city, but it was because my dad was white. We didn't count. But their other cousins, oh my God, yeah, they practically called them hillbillies. So it was just like, it was so bizarre. Scientology and the RCP both have basics. Go fig. The Dang Clay demo is Bob Avakian's contribution to Mayo Scientology theory. I always stay at the Fred Hampton. I love shaping things. See, this helped. This totally helped. And I'm at an hour. Would you say that was their Hayward fault? Oh, they had a big house too. They had a house that had like a pool table in it. They totally like moving on up, man. And that was the thing. It was like that happened, and they hardly ever had their cousins over after that. They had us over all the time, but they hardly had any of their like bio cousins. So that was the weirdest thing. And like I said, I learned all of this stuff as I was growing up in a place where all of this was relatively normal. And like I said, the Panthers, the Hells Angels were down the street when I was a teenager, and they were like, don't touch the children. And they meant, if it was like, you know, because yeah, even they had a bad problem with young girls, well, 14, 13. But if you grew up in the neighborhood, you were not, the double standards of all this crap is so bizarre. And that's the thing, the double standards are amazing. And even with cops and me talking to cops, it's like they know that I'm not afraid of them. So that's why I could go into the protest and ask them, why are you guys here? You know, when nobody would think about doing that. So it's just like, it's what you're exposed to and what you grow up with. So yeah, I guess I can say when I don't understand racism, I don't. Really don't. I'm learning, unfortunately. That's pretty creepy and makes me sort of disgusted with the human race even more. But that's just the way it is, and I'm going to try to keep talking my way out of it. So, but this helped. I can't believe it. I may want to come here tomorrow, even though it's going to be ugly. Oh my God. Because all the weirdos are going to be here by tomorrow. Maybe I'll dress in full kabuki tomorrow, just to fuck with them. So let me see. Why are you at the vet? What did I miss? Oh, Jesus, K.A. No. Confront and shatter revisionists, being facetious, but not really. Yes, confront and shatter. We had Hells Angels in another outlaw biker group when I lived in Alaska. They are basically dangerous criminals. Oh, yeah, they are. But not if you live here. And not if you're like me and who sits there and sparkles with the freaking charisma like you wouldn't believe. I had the Red Dragons when I was living 1 to 10. And that was up the street or down the street from the Panthers. And then I had the Hells Angels down the street from my best friend's house. And like I always say, the accent is 3 days a week in speech class, but nobody seems to believe me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to probably come back here tomorrow. Full kabuki. Maybe I'll wear it to lunch and just freak my dad out. Then again, he's probably got something to do, so I probably won't see him. But remember, and I think maybe if I don't, I'll read this. Can you guys see it? Okay. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Like, subscribe, become a member, buy toilet paper. Lots and lots of toilet paper. Because we don't know how to use those 3 clamshell things. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, Bellas.